was writing into the riverbank. The man would sometimes join her in the smile and slow down in his explanations. But his smile would never linger, for he was telling her about a loan and a mortgage and the expenses for a daughter's wedding and price adjustments in the cotton market. He was telling her about a man named Mr. Sachin Patikar and a loan officer at the bank, and about a money lender who didn't work at a bank and had rules of his own. The man's voice would fall when talking about these things, but it would rise again as he talked about another new man, one who had arrived in the village 2 days ago. The woman, too, spoke about this wise, educated man and about the Indian lady professor from America who were going to get the farmers together to draw the world's attention to the deaths in these farms. The woman's husband began to almost sing between his puffs on his beedi as he spoke about how the world would raise its voice, the government would listen, and the farmers would get subsidies and be pardoned their loans. And then this family could buy back its lost land. He would have his woman grow old like a queen, the man said. At this, the woman laughed, and her laugh turned into a cough, through which she said something about these days of the Haldi Kunku being a good time for the arrival of fortune in the guise of a kindly stranger. So that was the first excerpt. In the second excerpt, which takes place toward the end of the novel, Gayatri Bai, the woman, the woman farmer, is now a widow. Bajirao has committed suicide. Gayatri Bai is in a hospital in the village. This hospital actually caters to American tourists. You might have heard about the medical tourism industry that is attracting the rich from Western countries for medical tourism in places like India. So Gayatri Bai has this final conversation with Sita, the Indian-American professor that had arrived in Gayatri Bai's village with her son and her American students to save the savages. This part is told from the point of view of Sita, the professor. Among the fine medical staff that drew patients from across the world was the kind doctor who offered to do Gayatri Bai's surgery at a hefty discount. He had read the story of this emerging activist, Gayatri Bai, in the local papers. She had the kind of voice that needed to be raised loud and clear, he told Sita. He would sniff the cancer right out of those hearty lungs. Gayatri Bai's room was air-conditioned and darkened with curtains in a deep green. Sita rushed up to her, but couldn't think of anything to say. "I want to talk to you," Gayatri Bai whispered to Sita. Something in Gayatri Bai's voice told Sita this couldn't wait. "I will try to understand what you say. I will try to understand Marathi," Sita said, sitting down by Gayatri Bai in the hospital bed. Gayatri Bai nodded. "Sita Bai, do you think I will be able to fight this fight?" Sita knew Gayatri Bai wasn't talking about the cancer. "Yes," Sita said without hesitation. "But you needn't do it if you don't want to." Gayatri Bai frowned, as if she didn't understand what that meant. Not because of Sita's broken Marathi, but because of something in Sita's offer of a choice. Then Gayatri Bai said, "Sometimes I feel I'm weak. Bajirao was the strong one." "What?" Sita said, straightening Gayatri Bai's blanket. "You were always the stronger one. Wasn't Bajirao weak to commit suicide and abandon you and leave you all alone to handle things?" Sita regretted her words instantly. Gayatri Bai may not have understood Sita's words in their entirety, but she seems to have got the gist. Gayatri Bai's face shrank into thought, like a wheat turning dry in the sun. Gayatri Bai said, I hadn't thought of it like that." Sita shook her head and tears began to well in her eyes. Why had she said that to Gayatri Bai? Why had she sown that seed in Gayatri Bai's mind? What had Sita brought to this world but words, all the wrong words, words that didn't belong in this place? She joined her hands and pleaded, "Mala maaf kara, please forgive me." Gayatri Bai came back out of her thoughts. She now looked curious. She attempted a smile. She shook her head back at Sita. "Sita Bai, please don't shame me by asking for my forgiveness. I'm not angry, but I want to say something. Shall I say it?" Sita nodded. Gayatri Bai hesitated and then said, "Tumhala kai paije? What do you want?" Gayatri Bai reached out and touched Sita's forehead and rubbed her dry thumb against it, ironing away the creases there. Sita pushed her head into Gayatri Bai's touch. The woman now held Sita's hand and brought it up before her face. She glanced at the ring on Sita's finger. Sita was startled to see it there. She hadn't taken it off since Kavita's wedding. Tumcha marad? Gayatri Bai said. Your husband? Sita thought she saw Gayatri Bai's eyes dance for a moment. Sita shook her head. She scrambled for a word she knew rested somewhere in her memory. Mangetar, she said, fiancé. And then she sank into thought again. Gayatri Bai clucked her tongue. And then, she said in words that Sita pieced together somehow. Sita Bai, stop letting your thoughts torture you. Yes, my husband may have left me. But you, why do you sit thirsty by a river? Why does your face not bloom with moisture? Why do you run from the love of your man? You already know now that you can roam the world at will. I thank you and your son for walking with me so I could see that I can do it too. But now you must take your boy and go home. Go back to the man who sits by your river. So that was the second excerpt. And the reason I chose to read these two pieces is that they are linked to our notions of failure and success. And I'm trying to show in some way that the path we believe to lead to success need not be the best ones for others to follow. So let's be careful in our quest for leadership. So what I've been trying to say, and hopefully been failing at, is that I wish you well, you native scholars, you. We all here as your professors wish you success. And after you graduate, we wait for you to write to us about your jobs and your promotions and your personal triumphs. Really, it makes us proud, and we feel validated sitting there slouched in our office chairs. So please go out there and shine and make us proud. But if you should ever encounter my dear old friend failure, come visit me in number 305 Lynn Building. You and I will have something to talk about. Thank you.
Apparently, I'm